as he shares insights into their landmark HPV vaccination program initiated in 2018 and tells us how in just the last 6 years they've seen a significant dip in the cases of cervical cancer. It is now our honor to be joined live from Gangtok by Shri G.T. Dhungal, the Minister for Health and Family Welfare for Sikkim. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us in this very special campaign. First and foremost, congratulations, sir, on Sikkim becoming the first state to implement the HPV vaccine at the state level. You began back in 2018, and your HPV vaccination campaign was incorporated into the state's routine immunization program. We really want to know from you what led to this, what were the conversations and the thought behind this?
Good afternoon, madam. It is nice to be with you, and it's a privilege to be amidst all the learned people here. For information, our government, which started under the able leadership of our Honorable Chief Minister Prem Singh Tamang, he is very proactive and he is very compassionate towards all the people here. We have rolled out a scheme under the guidance of the Chief Minister, and of course it's a central scheme, but it's for the aged also. But the HPV vaccines, which we had carried out in 2018, it has helped a lot because the cervical cancer was quite common here in Sikkim. So this launching of this HPV vaccines has protected a lot of girls from having this cervical cancer, because under the CASH program also, we did the screening for the cervical cancers. So when we had this opportunity to roll out the HPV vaccines, that has helped a lot, and it has controlled the spread of cervical cancers to a great extent.
That's amazing. I mean, just in 6 years, they've managed to bring down the prevalence of cervical cancer. I think that calls for a big round of applause. Absolutely incredible, and so heartening that despite the odds and challenges, that clearly the government's worked very hard at this. Tell us more about that. How did you overcome the resistance from the community? Tradition, mindset, taboos around this cancer and the vaccine.
Actually, see, like when people suffer, the first and foremost what people require is good health. And for good health, now when faith healers go around spreading all sorts of rumors, and then they have all sorts of misconceptions are there, when they try all the tricks and then when it doesn't work out, then ultimately they'll have to resort to these medical facilities and the vaccines which we had rolled out. So all these things combined together have helped overcome the misconceptions which the faith healers had, and even the local leaders and the community leaders who were a bit doubtful about the vaccine, after the results which has been explicitly revealed and they can now see around, has convinced them, and all these factors where they could see the reality and the process and the effects of the HPV vaccines, people have now considered that this is good and they should go in for that. So now it has been used, and it is being used explicitly in a wide way in regard to the vaccines relating to HPV.
All right, wonderful. Dhungalji, now we do know vaccines are usually part of the national immunization program. We're still awaiting that the government will do something more on this. And that's also because of the costs that are involved in a vaccination program. So tell us, how does Sikkim sustain, support, and fund the vaccination program for all the eligible girls?
No, actually, it's mainly the center, the government of India, who have been very kind to us, and whatever fund we have with the state, with that we try to procure the vaccines, and we try to use that for all the girls, especially ranging between 9 to 14 years, and that we have been doing very successfully. Of course, there are constraints in regard to funding, but then the government of India has been very kind and they have been helping us from time to time. So there's not much of issue on that.
Right, sir, and you've already seen what an improvement in women's health ever since you began this vaccine program. And vaccination is one way of fighting cervical cancer. Then, of course, there's screening. If you could tell us what are you doing in Sikkim to increase awareness around screening for women, and so that the rates will increase and potential cancers can be caught.
No, we have the mobile vans are there. Then we have health workers who are spread all over the places, even in rural areas. So they go on having doing the screening and other necessary tests, whatever is necessary, so that the cervical cancer, if they are there possessed by cervical cancer or they are affected by cervical, it can be detected at early age. So when it's detected at early age, the prevention and the cure is very much there. So that's how we have been doing. And I would like to thank the health workers who have been very sincere, committed, and dedicated. And they have been putting all their efforts to see that they reach out to the people wherever necessary.
And finally, Dungalji, if you could tell us what are the biggest learnings that you've had, and what would you say to if we wanted a national level program, what could be applied to such a program from what your experience has been in Sikkim with this vaccination program?
What I feel now from our learning, we see that people have to be proactive, they have to come forward. They should not just confine themselves to their villages or homes, because whatever the government does in regard to health, it's for their well being. So it's my plea and my suggestion and my request to all the people all over India that they should come out, cooperate with the government, cooperate with the health workers. So whatever information they have, they should not hide, because if they hide later on, it may become a major problem, and at that time it will be too late. So a check-in time saves 9, they say, no? So a stitch-in time saves 9. So that adage has to be adopted. So whatever has to be done, it should be done early, and the treatment, if done early, can confine or cure the disease whatsoever.
Well, thank you so much, Shri Dungalji, for joining us on the program. And I think it's absolutely incredible to hear from the minister about how this has changed, women's healthcare there in Sikkim. Thank you so much for joining us on the program and sharing that experience. And hopefully, we'll see more states and a central program as well, inspired by Sikkim's experience. Sikkim's leadership in HPV vaccination is truly commendable. Their journey offers valuable lessons for other states. Now we shift our focus to Bihar, where Shri Mangal Pandey, the health minister, tells us about their progressive step of providing free HPV vaccination for girls between the ages of 9 and 14 and their strategies for implementation.
श्री मंगल पांडे जी, हमारे साथ जुड़ने के लिए बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। बिहार वो स्टेट है जिन्होंने HPV वैक्सीन फ्री ऑफ कॉस्ट लड़कियों के लिए जो 9 से 14 साल के उम्र के बीच हैं उनके लिए इंट्रोड्यूस किया है। क्या आप हमें बता सकते हैं कि प्लान इम्प्लीमेंटेशन के लिए आप क्या प्लान कर रहे हैं और कितने डिस्ट्रिक्ट्स में?
नमस्कार। ये HPV वैक्सीन देने का निर्णय बिहार की सरकार ने अपनी कैबिनेट की बैठक में माननीय मुख्यमंत्री जी के नेतृत्व में किया है और ये निर्णय करने वाला इस प्रकार का बिहार देश का पहला राज्य है जिसने ये निर्णय किया कि HPV वैक्सीन अपने राज्य के बच्चियों को, किशोरियों को हम मुफ्त में देंगे। और ये पूरे राज्य में लगभग 1 करोड़ किशोरी हमारी ऐसी हैं जिनको हमको HPV वैक्सीन देना है। और ये निर्णय हम लोगों ने इसलिए किया कि जो महिलाओं में कैंसर की बीमारी होती है उसमें लगभग 17% कैंसर जो होता है वो गर्भाशय के मुख पे, ये जो सर्वाइकल कैंसर जिसको बोलते हैं, उसके कारण होता है और उसके बचाव के लिए ये HPV का वैक्सीन दिया जाता है। तो बिहार की सरकार, स्वास्थ्य विभाग ने अपने मुख्यमंत्री श्री नीतीश कुमार जी के नेतृत्व में ये निर्णय किया कि हम अपनी बच्चियों को भविष्य में होने वाले कैंसर की इस गंभीर बीमारी से बचाने के लिए HPV का वैक्सीन फ्री में देने का काम करेंगे। और ये HPV वैक्सीन फ्री में देने की योजना की शुरुआत भी बिहार में हो गई है। ये बिहार के सभी 38 जिलों में HPV वैक्सीन दी जाएगी। प्रारंभिक तौर पे ये जिला सदर अस्पतालों से हम इस वैक्सीनेशन के कार्यक्रम को शुरू कर रहे हैं और फिर आगे चल के हम जो CHC हमारा है, कम्युनिटी हेल्थ सेंटर, सामुदायिक स्वास्थ्य केंद्र, वहाँ तक अपने चिकित्सकों के माध्यम से हम इस HPV वैक्सीनेशन के काम को आगे बढ़ाएंगे। और इस वर्ष बिहार सरकार की कैबिनेट ने 150 करोड़ रुपए की मंजूरी इस वैक्सीनेशन के लिए दी है। तो मैं समझता हूं कि ये एक बहुत बड़ा काम हम सब लोगों ने बिहार में शुरू किया है।
कुछ पॉजिटिव्स या लर्निंग्स आप हमारे साथ, हमारे दर्शकों के साथ शेयर करना चाहेंगे जो रेस्ट ऑफ इंडिया में अप्लाई किया जा सके?
नहीं, मैं तो यही आग्रह करना चाहूँगा कि सभी राज्य चाहें तो इसको लागू कर सकते हैं, कोई चैलेंजेस नहीं है और कोई बहुत बड़ा आर्थिक बोझ भी नहीं पड़ता है। आर्थिक रूप से बहुत ज़्यादा बड़ा राशि इसमें खर्च करना पड़ता है ऐसी बात है। हाँ, निश्चित रूप से एक रकम तो खर्च होती है, चूँकि बिहार एक बड़े आबादी वाला राज्य है। हमसे कम आबादी वाले राज्य ज़्यादा हैं, हमसे ज़्यादा आबादी वाला 2 ही राज्य है। तो विभिन्न राज्य सरकारें चाहें तो अपने जो स्वास्थ्य सेवाओं के ऊपर राशि खर्च करते हैं उसी में से कुछ संसाधन यदि इसके ऊपर हम खर्च कर दें तो हम बच्चियों को भविष्य में कैंसर होने से बचा सकते हैं। और कई राज्य सरकारें हैं जो कैंसर हो जाने के बाद इलाज के लिए अपने लोगों को पैसे देती है, सहयोग करती है, सहायता करती है। तो हम प्रिवेंटिव हेल्थ पे बात करें और हम बीमारी ना हो उसी पे यदि खर्च करें, हम वो पैसा खर्च कर दे कैंसर होने से बचाव पे, तो कैंसर से भी बचाव हो जाएगा और कल होके जो कैंसर के इलाज के लिए पैसा खर्च होता है उसकी भी जरूरत नहीं पड़ेगी। तो राज्य सरकारों को केवल एक मजबूत इच्छा शक्ति के साथ निर्णय लेने की जरूरत है। बाकी ये टीकाकरण कोई बहुत तकनीकी रूप से भी जटिल काम नहीं है। तकनीकी रूप से भी सामान्य तरीके से जिस प्रकार से विभिन्न टीके दिए जाते हैं, हमारी जो ट्रेंड नर्सेज हैं उन्हीं के माध्यम से ये टीके दिए जाते हैं, चिकित्सकों की उपस्थिति में ये सब कुछ होता है। तो तकनीकी रूप से अतिरिक्त कोई इसमें काम नहीं करना है, बस एक निर्णय लेने की आवश्यकता है।
बिल्कुल सही कहा, निर्णय एंड आई थिंक इच्छा जो आपने बात कही, बहुत बहुत हमारे साथ धन्यवाद हमारे साथ जुड़ने के लिए मंगल पांडे जी।
As we've seen, both Sikkim and Bihar are driving transformative efforts to combat cervical cancer. But how can these state-level initiatives be scaled to achieve a national impact? More on that after this short break.
Mahakumbh, the festival of faith, the world's biggest spiritual festival, the divine dip at the spiritual Sangam, a sacred confluence of faith, culture and heritage. NDTV's mega coverage of the Mega Fest. NDTV at Mahakumbh 2025.
Kind attention, please. Delhi Election Metro 2025 is arriving on People's Platform.
Please mind the gap.
BJP or AAP, who will get to the Delhi Secretariat station?
दरवाजे बाईं तरफ खुलेंगे.
Who will Delhi voters open the victory doors for? And who will be shown the door? Can the BJP throw AAP's victory run off track? Or will it be Kejriwal's ticket to win again? Can Congress take the election metro to revival? We will track it all for you. Delhi's decision destination.
Doors will open on the left.
Stay tuned to NDTV for Mega Metro poll coverage.
Well, I'm in Altadena. This is one of the worst hit areas. When disaster strikes, NDTV World brings you exclusive on-the-ground reports straight from the heart of the action.
A neighborhood in Los Angeles that has been devastated by fire.
I just received an emergency alert extreme, which has come on my phone. Stay tuned for NDTV World's in-depth coverage as we bring you the real stories from Los Angeles. This is the Altadena area, and there are still fires and there's a lot of smoke in the area. These houses completely gutted. This is reporting that matters only on NDTV World.
I've been reporting on all issues, big and small, from Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, rest of South India, bringing you all the action, all that you need to know, all that you want to know.
The energy of Maximum City is infectious. I bring in that energy in our news coverage from financial capital, Mumbai.
Covering from the southernmost part of India over the last 23 years, I bring in-depth and 360-degree coverage from the Dravidian heartland.
The land of Mishti is also known for its bitter politics. I have seen much water flow under the Howrah Bridge, covering Bengal in all its vivid colors.
Mahakumbh, the festival of faith.
Welcome back. Scaling up vaccination drives is essential to making HPV vaccination accessible nationwide. Up next, experts discuss the strategies, challenges and innovations that can help chart the way to counter cervical cancer and improve public health. We've been talking, during this program about the vaccination drive, how important it is. We've also spoken about how in India, we're not a society that's very reluctant to take vaccines. There's a lot of awareness. There's a lot of welcoming of vaccines. But when it comes to the HPV vaccine, how do we drive that up? How do we scale it up so that we can cover more and more of our girls and women?
Thank you for inviting me. I like your action saying drive it, So that's what we need to do, because we said awareness to action was the first phase of what we were campaigning for. Now it is accelerated action. We really need to move fast, and we know that where there's a will, there's a way, because we've already proven by the general immunization program for the children in our country and as well as the COVID. So I think like Anemia Mukta Bharat had the 3 T's, test, treat and talk. Similarly, the cervical cancer elimination also has 3 T's. It's technology, it's trust, and it's togetherness. Because kill it before it kills you is the tagline. And the immense potential for technology, for everything that has been spoken on all the panels. The demand generation, the supply. The demand, yes, there are many doctors who are great social media influencers. So we have to use their potential on this particular subject of accelerating the vaccination drives through the social media, because all said and done, the doctors influencing through the social media for that right age group, 9 to 14, most certainly is expected to work. Togetherness, as is the title of this program, it's not, one person's or one cadre's responsibility. All of us are here together. Anybody, any human being on earth, it should be their ownership and their mission to say simple things like, have you taken your HPV vaccination? And then the person who has heard this can move across and ask the concern, what is it about? Why should I take it? How should I take it? Where it's available? The cost, this, that. And together we can, get the supply chain in order. We can get the Make in India manufacturing, for example. We can bring down the cost. We can do a lot of things together.
We're talking about scaling up the vaccination program. What are the challenges that you see to this? Earlier, we heard about how maybe if we did want to vaccinate every young girl in India today, what should the government's priorities be? Of course, awareness, but what else?
In 2014, WHO gave the certificate to the Government of India about the polio elimination. We have been hearing about the polio program, the success of the polio program. In 2014, WHO gave the certificate to the Government of India about the polio elimination. In that meeting in Vigyan Bhavan, Madam Sushma Swaraj ji, she had said a very, very important thing. She had said that today, on behalf of the country, we thank the manufacturers for providing us the vaccine. We thank the health workers for ensuring that the vaccine reaches the last mile. We thank the governments at the state level and the central government for the coordination. But this program success is because of the people of India. The people of India had embraced the polio program, and that is why this program became successful. So I want to state here that for any vaccination program or in terms of any public health goods, there is an acronym, and that acronym is not a good acronym. It is called the SAD acronym. And why I say this is the letters S, A, and D come one after the other. S is supply. We need to have uninterrupted supply of vaccines, drugs, diagnostics in order to scale up. We need to ensure that the population which needs it has access, and that is the A. And once we have the access, then the demand must be generated within the community. And the demand comes from the community very automatically. Because if they find that the product is useful for them, they will embrace it. If they find that it is not useful, it will be very difficult for us to really take that forward. So I want to bring here 3 T's which have driven the vaccination program in India. If we see the vaccination program, it is driven by 3 T's. The first T is technology. Over the last 2 decades, starting from the vaccine vial monitor, which was a game changer for polio vaccines, from the EVM, the electronic vaccine management, the entire EVIN, the electronic vaccine intelligent network, down to CoWIN, which we all saw how it built trust amongst the population. All of it has been driven by technology. We need to embrace technology to drive our new vaccines, including the cervical cancer vaccine. The second T is what my friend Dr. Vivek was talking about, and I told you in the story, trust. And the third T is a very obvious T, of which we have been hearing from the beginning, teamwork. This will not be achieved by the health department alone. The education department, the Ministry of Science and Technology, the Ministry of Women and Child Development, and all the ministries, including the finance ministry, will have to work hand in hand in order to ensure that this is a teamwork that moves forward.
A unified approach to scaling vaccination drives can significantly boost the fight against cervical cancer. Now we turn to a more personal perspective and understanding the human stories behind cervical cancer. We speak to a range of women who highlight the emotional and social dimensions of the disease and its prevention.
Nancy, सबसे पहला सवाल मैं आपसे पूछना चाहूँगी. If you can just share your journey as a survivor, आपके जो emotionally, physically, mentally, जब से आपका स्क्रीनिंग हुई, डायग्नोसिस हुई, ट्रीटमेंट हुई, अगर आप हम सबके साथ अपनी जर्नी शेयर कर सके प्लीज़.
स्टार्टिंग में जब मेरे को पता चला, मेरी एज 31 थी, मेरे को हाई ग्रेड न्यूरोएंडोक्राइन सर्विकल कैंसर था. उस टाइम पे मैं 5 मंथ प्रेग्नेंट थी. तो धीरे धीरे मेरे को प्रॉब्लम्स होने लगी. मेरे को वाइट डिस्चार्ज की प्रॉब्लम होने लगी और ब्लीडिंग प्रॉब्लम होने लगी. हमें लगा कि बेबी की वजह से ये सब चीज़ें हो रही हैं, बट वो सब नहीं था. मेरे को कुछ और ही अंदर मतलब अबनॉर्मल डिस्चार्ज होने लगा. तो डॉक्टर ने चेक किया अंदर से, देन मेरे को पता चला कि अंदर कुछ अबनॉर्मल ग्रोथ है. बहुत शॉकिंग था हमारे लिए, मेरी फैमिली के लिए शॉकिंग था. तो मेरे को समझ नहीं आ रहा था हम लोगों को. पहले मैंने सर्विकल कैंसर के बारे में कभी मैंने सुना भी नहीं था. मेरी फैमिली में किसी को कैंसर नहीं था. उस टाइम पे मेरा फैमिली सपोर्ट, मेरा हस्बैंड ने काफ़ी सपोर्ट किया. उस टाइम पे मेरे को 29 रेडिएशन और 6 कीमोथेरेपी और 3 ब्रेकीथेरेपी दी गई, जो काफ़ी मुश्किल था मेरे लिए. मैं एकदम घबरा गई थी उस चीज़ से. मेरे को पता नहीं चल रहा था कि मेरे साथ हो क्या रहा है ये सब चीज़ें. तो अभी आई एम फाइन. काफ़ी मतलब मेरे लिए थोड़ा मुश्किल थी वो सब चीज़ें हैंडल करना. मैं एकदम स्ट्रेस में चली गई थी. तो मेरी फैमिली ने मेरा सपोर्ट काफ़ी अच्छा किया उन्होंने। हस्बैंड क्या करते हैं कि इतनी बड़ी बीमारी सुन के सोचते हैं कि छोड़ देते हैं, साथ छोड़ देते हैं, बट मेरे साथ ऐसा नहीं था। मेरे हस्बैंड ने मेरा पूरा सपोर्ट किया, मेरे इन-लॉज़ ने मेरा सपोर्ट किया, जिसकी वजह से आज मैं यहाँ पे आप लोगों के सामने अपनी जर्नी शेयर कर पा रही हूँ। मैंने अपने 5 मंथ बेबी को अडॉप्ट कर खो दिया उस चीज़ की वजह से। आगे भी मेरी फैमिली ने सबसे पहले मेरे को चुना और वो अब मैं आगे प्रेग्नेंट नहीं हो सकती हूँ, फिर भी उन्होंने ये बोला कि हमें कोई और नहीं, बस तुम चाहिए। मतलब मेरी फैमिली सपोर्ट मेरी काफ़ी सपोर्टिव है, उनकी वजह से ही मैं आज आप लोगों के सामने हूँ।
You've devoted, many decades. I mean, your work has been on the elimination of cervical cancer. What are the most important findings, and how do you think women can prioritize? We've been talking about reproductive health, that we don't want to talk about it. How do you think that shift can happen, and what have you really found in all these years?
Now I think a lot more is spoken about cervical cancer these days than was before, but it's probably still not enough. And the important thing to note is that it is such a tragedy because it is preventable more than any cancer. When we talk of breast cancer, we talk of early detection. But in cervical cancer, it's the true prevention because we know that it's caused by an infectious agent. As we have in the case of liver cancer, we have hepatitis, so here we have HPV. And we know that we can prevent that by a vaccine. We know that we have a long precancerous phase which we can detect. I'm really grateful to Nancy and Vanna for sharing the stories, and Nancy has told us how she was symptomatic, but actually if you go into the precancers, it's not even symptomatic, and you can detect it at that stage, treat it, and never reach the stage of cancer. So it is a tragedy, undoubtedly, if this sort of thing happens. And the important thing also to realize is it's a pyramid. Because a lot of women will get HPV. They feel guilty sometimes. We heard about how husbands may accuse them of maybe having got them from some outside relationships. But the fact of matter is that 85% of women and 90% of men are going to get this infection at some point in their lives if they are not going to be vaccinated. And it is only about 10% of them who will not be able to clear the infection, but at this point in time, science cannot tell you which 10%. So 10% will continue to have the infection, and out of them a proportion will develop the precancer, and then they will go on a very small proportion to cancer. We do worry about cancer, but I can say to you that the precancer is no less a problem. And we see particularly now with the increasing age at marriage and childbearing, and then they go to the IVF clinic and they're diagnosed with a precancer. And now the whole thing is shifted from being a discussion about how they will get pregnant and have the baby, it becomes a discussion of how they will manage the precancer. And not everyone is as lucky as Nancy has been. And there are many relationships that cannot stand this stress and they break up, and there's mental problems and guilt and so many things, depression and other things that they go through. So to me, it seems important not just to worry about that endpoint of cancer, but to worry about the quality of life with all the previous stages, to worry about not getting the precancer, to worry about not getting that infection at all and having to deal with that positive report.
Absolutely.
Hearing these stories reminds us why the fight against cervical cancer is so critical. By combining personal advocacy with state-led action, we can bring about lasting change. Together with awareness, action and compassion, we can create a future free from this disease. Stay tuned to NDTV for more such impactful stories. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.
In today's interconnected world, India's voice is more crucial than ever. When India speaks, the world listens. At NDTV World, we are that voice, bringing you intelligent and insightful news from India and beyond. From geopolitics and diplomacy to economic shifts, migrations, tech disruptions, and the stories of our diaspora. We cover the news that shapes our global future. NDTV World, your new home for global news, is here.
All set for Trump 2.0. Countdown to January 20th. Terror shadow, visa wars. All the twists and turns. Tracking Trump takeover. Every day at 10:30 p.m. only on NDTV 24/7.
Hello and welcome to the best of the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland.
For 2 decades, NDTV has been a window to the world's greatest thinkers, leaders, Nobel laureates and stars at the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland.
From Bill Gates to Shakira to Randy Zuckerberg to
For the latest in the Saif Ali Khan stabbing case, the accused has been sent to 5-day police custody. Mumbai police, in the meanwhile, has confirmed that the accused is a Bangladeshi citizen. Politics erupts over the accused's Bangladeshi origin. Ajit Pawar says that the accused reached Mumbai via Kolkata. The TMCS says that the illegal Bangladeshi immigration is a failure of the central government. Delhi Chief Minister Atishi accuses BJP of sending goons to kill Aam Aadmi Party Chief Arvind Kejriwal. BJP leader Parvesh Verma, he responds saying that Kejriwal's arrogance has angered the people of Delhi. A massive fire breaks out in the Mahakumbh. Several tents have caught fire near the Shastri Bridge. The Prime Minister spoke to Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath. This fire was caused due to a cylinder blast. The Israel-Hamas ceasefire begins. Israel gets the names of 3 hostages who are set to be released on the first day. And the world's elite gather at the Davos for the World Economic Forum. NDTV brings you extensive coverage from the ground. Hello and welcome. You're watching NDTV 24/7. I'm Osama Shab. The Bandra court on Sunday remanded the arrested accused to 5-day police custody in connection with the attack on Bollywood actor Saif Ali Khan. Now, while demanding accused 14-day custody, the police said that the attacker is ruthless as he stabbed Saif Ali Khan several times. They also need to collect more evidence in this particular case. The accused, remember, was arrested by the Mumbai police from Thane. Mumbai police also said that there is primary evidence to believe that the accused is a Bangladeshi. It does not have valid Indian documents. There have been some seizures too, including his birth certificate, that proves that he is a Bangladeshi national, is what the police said. In fact, the police also added that Muhammad Shariful Islam Shehzad, a 30-year-old man, had changed his name to Vijay Das after entering India in order to hide his Bangladeshi origins. He came to Mumbai 5 to 6 months ago. He stayed in Mumbai for a few days and then in the vicinity of Mumbai as well. He was working in a housekeeping agency.
The police custody was not required as all the weapon and everything has been recovered by the investigation officer. Only forensic report and other things are there. It has to be taken care by the investigation officer by the FSL report, not by the custody. Just because it is a Saif Ali Khan, the matter has been hyped and he has been extended to police custody. International issue नहीं है, वो एक यंग बच्चा है, उसको स्केपगोट किया गया है. अभी वो बांग्लादेशी है ओरिजिन, ये नहीं है, वो अभी तक कंफर्म ये नहीं है. उनके पास कोई डॉक्यूमेंट्री एविडेंस नहीं है, कोई इंटरनेशनल इशू नहीं है और कोई अटेम्प्ट टू मर्डर नहीं है.
एक आरोपी को उसमें अरेस्ट किया गया है. उस
आरोपी का नाम मोहम्मद शरीफुल इस्लाम शहजाद है। मोहम्मद शरीफुल इस्लाम शहजाद, एज 30 इयर्स। अभी तक की इन्वेस्टिगेशन में ये समझ में आया है कि ये आरोपी चोरी के इरादे से उस घर में उसने एंटर किया था और उस समय पर ये इंसिडेंस हुआ था। इस एक्यूज को कोर्ट में पेश किया जाएगा और पुलिस कस्टडी की रिक्वेस्ट की जाएगी और उसके बाद आगे का इन्वेस्टिगेशन किया जाएगा। एप्रोप्रिएट, इस केस में एप्रोप्रिएट सेक्शंस की वाड़ की गई है और उस हिसाब से आगे का इन्वेस्टिगेशन किया जा रहा है।
किन सेक्शंस को पासपोर्ट एक्ट में या फिर
पासपोर्ट एक्ट के रेलेवेंट सेक्शंस में रेलेवेंट सेक्शंस इसमें अप्लाई किए गए हैं, उसके डिटेल्स हम प्रेस नोट से आपसे शेयर कर रहे हैं। ही डजंट हैव इंडियन वैलिड डॉक्यूमेंट एज ऑफ नाउ। वी थिंक दैट दिस is his first time entrance at that residence.
And my colleagues Radhika Ramaswamy and Abir Adhar, they have been tracking this story and the latest developments as far as the Saif Ali Khan stabbing case is concerned. Radhika, to you first. The police had asked for a 14-day custody. They've got 5-day police custody of the accused. What are the likely charges that the accused is set to face here?
You know, as far as the charges are concerned, it's already mentioned in the FIR, which includes attempt to murder and, of course, charges and sections with respect to robbery as well as trespassing. So these are the sections that have been added in the FIR. Now, if we were to talk about the entire case and what really transpired in the court today, yes, 5-day custody has been given as far as this accused is concerned. 14 days custody was sought by the Mumbai police before the court. The police, they're saying that there could be more than that meets the eye, so therefore they need to do thorough investigation and questioning of the accused. They feel that it can't be that this guy did not know that this residence was of Saif Ali Khan's. So is there another outsider's involvement, another person's involvement? Was there anybody else helping this accused? That is something the Mumbai police would like to find out. And also as to how he planned this entire move. Mumbai police feels that this was a well-planned attack, a well-planned attempt to rob Saif Ali Khan's residence. Also, they want to gather more evidence with respect to this case, which involves, the clothing that he was wearing at the time of the attack, which is missing right now, and a piece of knife is also missing. So there is some crucial piece of evidence Mumbai police would like to gather and also would like to understand what the larger conspiracy could have been, which the Mumbai police feel is more than what meets the eye. So we'll have to wait and see what will come out of investigations in the next few days. But today before the court, the lawyer for the accused reiterated that, this is an exaggerated case. This has been blown out of proportion because there is a star involved, there's a film star involved, and that there is nothing to prove that this man is a Bangladeshi immigrant, however, illegal immigrant. But Mumbai police, they're very categorically stating that he had all invalid documents with respect to India, and all the documents that he had proved that he was a citizen of Bangladesh and had come here, entered India illegally, and he's been staying in Bombay for the last 5 to 6 months. So defense, they're stating that this has been exaggerated and blown out of proportion, and there is no documentary evidence, and that the custody is not required. But in the next 5 days is going to be crucial for Mumbai police, as they will try to unearth more evidence in connection to the case. And we will then know if this was just a simple robbery attempt. More to this.
All right. In fact, I'm also joined by Abir Adhar, who has been tracking this story from outside the legal. Firstly, Abir, an update on what condition at the moment, what have the doctors said, and also this raises a lot of question marks as far as the security of high-profile people in posh areas of Mumbai is concerned.
Absolutely, and it is terrifying for Bandra people what is happening, and this is not the first case that has happened. Even the gunshots outside Salman's house have raised questions of lawlessness in Bandra. But where it concerned to Saif Ali Khan's health, he is stable and he is doing fine right now. Last we spoke to the doctor, they said he has been moved from the ICU to the special ward, and he's on a normal diet. They made him walk and he can walk, and they have said there's no risk of paralysis at all, but there is a risk of infection because he has got 6 wounds, and one of the major wounds is of course near the spine. The spinal fluid leakage happened because the 2.5